now, but listen, I'm going to get into a model that I established even before I really got into psychology, because it became evident to me. And it was one of the, I've had a inclination for psychology for a long time. I guess about 30 years. I'm 50, like I said, 55. So this is my favorite subject for a long time. And along the way, before I even started studying it, and before I became a practitioner of NLP and a life coach and all that, it occurred to me that there's more to this thing that we call an ego, that there's a lot of subscription to by people. And it's a thing that I call the false ego. Okay, now if the ego is this self-image, or the self-identity, the false ego is an identity that is not the self. Okay, so sounds like a paradox, and it is. Life is very paradoxical, mofo's. Irony is a cornerstone of life. And that is, and this pseudo identity is where a person has an endeavor for it's a means to an end, but it's an end that is a loop. Okay, so it's a loop. It is futile, and it is not well thought out, because the end is a loop. Right, and that's the false ego. The false ego. Now, if I have my concept of myself, which is Tony Petroza, right? Now, I have, these are my strengths and my weaknesses. And when I'm humble, the more humble I am about who I am, my strengths and weaknesses, and what I have done, and saying that with accuracy and honesty, and without less embellishment, especially less falsity or falsehoods, the more I will evolve. Okay, the more I will understand myself and reality at the same time, and that's my self-concept. But what about this false ego? Okay, this false self-concept. That's where it's not about I think I'm this and I think I'm that. The things that I'm not, like I think I'm like a great entrepreneur, when I really I've only done, my history as an entrepreneur shows that I'm an entrepreneur, but I'm not that great. Okay, however you want to gauge that greatness, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something that is not specific, but very general. And that is the idea of what you want from a person regarding your identity, no matter who it is. And that is praise. Okay. I want to be praised. Now, I ask you, Tommy, what does the desire to be praised, which is a very common thing, have to do with my self-identity, about who I am as Tony Petroza, with my strengths and weaknesses, with my background, with my aspirations? What does it have to do?
With you particularly, or most people?
With everyone.
Most people? Well, it gives a person a sense of validation that they're doing the right thing, that they're on the right path.
But what's that got to do with the self-identity? I agree with you, but that's a delusion. I agree with you, but because the self-identity is the self-identity, it stands alone per se. It doesn't need any corroboration from you.
Right.
I have my identity. I don't need you to tell me, oh, Tony, yes, you're you. I'm already me. I'm already me. I don't need you or anyone else to tell me who I am. But if I'm looking for praise now, now we're getting into a part about me that is not even about me, because I am who I am, independent of everybody and everybody. But if I'm looking for praise from you, if I want you to think that I'm great, that's not my self-identity. That's the false ego, because I am who I am, self-concept, self-identity. When I want you or anybody else in the world to think I'm great, now I'm not subscribing to my ego, who is who I am. All right, I've done this, I've done that. This is what I want to do. This is my my competencies. Now the false ego is, I just want you to praise me. I just want you to think I'm great. Now, And now that's
at,
what
at a particular thing too, mostly, you know?
it could be anything. It could be anything at
Yeah.
all. And it's this, and what is it? What's the motivation for this desire for praise? It is that I want you to praise my ego. Okay. But the ego, in truth, the self-concept, is absolutely needless of praise. What need is there a self-identity of praise? There is none whatsoever. So if I want you to praise this self-identity, that's because I'm subscribing to a false ego, that this identity needs praise, when in truth, it needs absolutely no praise whatsoever. It doesn't even need acknowledgement from you. Though that said, acknowledgement is the most basic human need. It is the primary need we have, is acknowledgement.